Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp here on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business here at the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Resort in beautiful Orlando, Florida. 100 degrees, 100% humidity. We're sweating it out here as we record at day 3 of Anthology Together, where we continue to meet and see again amazing people who we interact with here at this conference as we record all about what's happening in Anthology with users, administrators, super users, and so on and so on and so on. And I have somebody with me that I adore. We met last year at Anthology Together in 2021 in Dallas, and now here we are again in Orlando. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. And I know I'm going to get this wrong, but I'm going to try it anyway. Her name is Julia McLaughlin, and she's Assistant Director of the Bryant Fund.
Nailed it.
At Bryant University. What's happening?
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
It's good to see you again.
Yes, happy to be here.
Do you remember your first EdUp experience with us?
I do remember it.
Yes,
pretty well.
And you have I'm somewhere around like 300 downloads of that episode. So
That's
there's been
exciting.
a lot of people that listen to you, Julia, because you're the first person that we've had that is going to talk about fundraising a little bit and how you use Anthology for fundraising. It's a really important piece of what a university does, right?
Money.
Okay, that's my money button. So remind us about Bryant University. Give us just kind of an overview and then talk about the Bryant Fund and what the Bryant Fund is for the university.
Yeah, so Bryant is a small, primarily business school in Northern Rhode Island. We have a little over 3,000 students, undergrad. We are currently building up our liberal arts majors, but primarily right now it's business. International business is huge, supply chain management. And I work
Supply chain management must be like the thing now,
it's
right?
huge, yeah. And the international business program is really strong as well. And so I work for the annual fund, which raises unrestricted funds for the greatest needs on campus.
Okay, what are the greatest needs on campus?
So many. We do scholarship, we do campus enhancements. We're working on starting to kind of put together a plan for our convocation center. We're getting that kind of moving, bunch of facility updates, just tech needs, all that good stuff.
It's so fabulous.
We love fundraising. We love unrestricted dollars, which is what Elvin, is your microphone on? Because we can hear you.
Sure is.
Oh, yes. I love
ladies and gentlemen,
unrestricted funds.
co-founder of the EdUp Experience, Elvin Freitas, crashing the episode.
Yeah, okay.
Should I leave it on or turn it off?
No, turn it off, please. I might sneeze, blow my nose.
All right, get out of here, Elvin. So this is an important role that you play. Unrestricted dollars are critical. So the Bryant Fund, is it growing? Is it growing year over year? Because you're back. I'm assuming that means you're doing great in your job.
Yeah, I am back. The Bryant Fund is doing really well. We had a record-breaking giving day last October.
Amazing.
Where
I told you they'd surprise you.
I love it. This is great.
Amazing.
So we raised just about $1.4 million on Giving Day in October.
Money.
From about 2,600 individual donors. So it's definitely growing year over year.
No, I'm not going to hit anything, but I'm looking. I'm
ready.
looking for one. So a lot of people don't realize how hard fundraising is, and fundraising in, around, and even immediately after COVID, right? So it's like you get COVID, all of a sudden fundraising becomes very difficult. Not that it wasn't difficult already, but it becomes more difficult for two reasons. One, people didn't have as much money because there was job changes and job losses and so on. And secondarily to that, people were giving to health organizations.
Right.
Then as soon as we kind of come out of COVID, quote unquote, gas prices go up, inflation is at an all-time high, mortgage rates continue to go up. So you really are dealing with a lot of challenges. How do you keep it all straight? Because you just have a very difficult job.
Yeah, so one of the things that we have been focusing on is switching our focus. We've been lowering the amount of emails that we're sending out, just trying to stay like in front of people, but not bombarding them, because as everything went up, so did the promotional emails that you get
From
all
everywhere.
the stores that you
Mhm.
shop at. So we're trying really hard to kind of be more intentional about the emails that we're sending and make them more about the impact of what they're doing rather than giving this whole long email. And we're just focusing on the student experience. Like the students have been able, since the fall of 2020, they have been on campus. They have had a student experience and they are relatively back to normal. Like nothing is hybrid anymore. Nothing, like we are operating business as usual. And I think that that's providing the students with something that not every school is able to provide them.
Good insight. I feel like I should have done that one. Like, is this me? Anyway, talk about we talk about the value of higher education. We're going to talk about Anthology in a minute, but we talk about the value of higher education.
Mhm.
How do alumni, because I would imagine alumni are somewhat of a focus for an annual fund.
Yes.
Do your alumni still go, you know what, I see the value of a Bryant education, I'm going to give money? Or are they going, I don't know, because that's a big thing that we're all dealing with in higher ed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a little bit of both. Like we have the alumni who are fully invested in the students and they understand like the impact and what they got out of their education and they want to provide that to a student. And they are kind of doing what they can. But then you have the alumni who are the typical, we already gave you $200,000 in tuition. Why do you need any more?
Right.
And so we hear that a lot, and it's a decent mix. But we've been trying to kind of switch the narrative and say, for most of you, like your life began at Bryant. Like your adult life starts when you're in college. It
Get for the better.
it doesn't start before college, and 9 times out of 10 like you're making those decisions that are going to get you your career and do all of the things that is going to start your adulthood. So we've been trying to switch that narrative a little bit and leaning into our donors who are very invested in Bryant to get them to tell the story for us.
Right, because because it is about stories now.
Yeah.
As much, fundraising, admissions, enrollment is always about stories, but I feel like it's more about stories than ever has been before because we're fighting in higher ed against this public perception
Right.
that somehow we don't have value. So we need to tell the story of success.
Right.
Speaking of stories of success, Julia, here you are again in Anthology Together. Talk about this conference so far. We're in what day is it? Day 3?
Sure.
I woke up this morning, Elvin, sideways on my bed. So not even like, where the pillows are, completely sideways. And I woke up and I had no idea where I was. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Anyway,
Where did you go last night?
Nowhere. That's a sad part. I wish I could say I had 3 martinis at the bar, and no, I had water, and it still happened. Anyway, so you're here in Anthology, day 3.
Yes.
How have your first 2 days gone? Are you getting insights? What are you learning? How's the conference? Give me your overview.
Yeah, so this is actually my 5th time at this conference.
Mhm.
So I always love it. I always have a great time. And it's always so eye-opening to see how other schools are doing different things and how they're using the platform for their benefit. Yesterday, I did a lot on like email metrics and kind of seeing their product roadmap and vision, which is super exciting just because I've been now working with the program for 4 years. And so it's nice to see like kind of where it's going. And
is it evolving? Are you seeing the evolution?
I am. And even since I started at Bryant, I mean, the whole program is so different and it's improved in so many different ways.
Wow.
So I'm excited to see like how it continues to grow. And I think they have some really good things coming up.
Talk a little bit about how you use it. How do you use Anthology? What parts do you use? How does it help your day-to-day? What insights does it give you? That whole thing.
So at Bryant, we use the Encompass platform. So we use it for our alumni website. We use it for email and giving forms. That sound really is you.
This is one of my new
really
favorite. Every time somebody says something insightful, I go,
But yeah, so we are actually currently in we're doing a redesign of our giving form. So we've been working with Anthology to get that kind of up and running, hoping to just kind of streamline it for our donors to make it a little bit easier, a little bit prettier,
A little bit more usable.
a little bit more
to gain
usable,
donations.
more honestly, more so our focus was that our current form is just not super mobile friendly. So the new form is going to be highly tailored to mobile.
Mobile friendly is the way
Yes.
to go.
Yes. But yeah, so I handle all of the giving side of our alumni website. So I make all those updates as we need them, and my alumni counterpart handles her side.
So you do
And
website
I do.
upgrades?
I do.
Really? See, we learned something new about you, Julia, from last year.
Yes.
So you're in the technical. So you're what? You're looking at the website. You're saying, you know what? It'd be great if we had a story on here, or if we put a video here.
Yeah.
Or we really?
Yeah. So I'm. So I have the ability to just kind of load in content, change it up, swap it out.
Bryant University, what are you guys doing? You haven't promoted her yet. What's going on here? Somebody's gonna steal her out from under you. Okay, I didn't say that. I don't know if we have to cut that in. We're gonna leave that in. We're gonna leave that in.
That's fine.
A fundraiser who can do website updates. Hello. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So I do all the website updates, and then I do all of our email marketing as well. So I do, yeah. So I build the calendar out for the year, and then I am typically the one who's building the emails. We work with a writer who writes the emails for me, but I do the email headers and.
So you're split testing headers. You're looking at email open metrics.
Mhm.
So you're then saying, okay, I sent this email to our alumni. I got back 2%. You know, I'm going to try to send this from the president versus it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's cool because we're able to kind of do A/B testing on like the sender name. So if it comes from the Bryant Fund versus a person, so like our director will do that a lot. And little things like subject lines and adding personalization in the subject line, and just kind of like testing out those things. So
email marketing, website updates, and fundraising. I don't know, Elvin. That's kind of like a super employee here. Watch out. So you're using Anthology for all different parts then, for all parts of this.
Yes.
What have you seen at this conference that you can, anything, tips that have come up, any big insights you've gained? Do you go, you know what, I'm going to run back to my school and try this? So.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I was in an email metric session yesterday, and she was using it in kind of in a different way than I would use it, but it kind of sparked a conversation with my coworker where I want to start tracking, adding a tracking link into the email header versus the giving button versus the hyperlinked text to see where in the email the donor is actually making their gift.
A little like
which link is doing the trick for
like
them.
Heat mapping of the clicks. Interesting.
Because I would be interested to know, because we typically have about 3 to 4 links within our email for them to actually make a donation. So I'm curious which kind of what's making that jump.
Good insights, Elvin. If you could listen, there's lots of insights.
So many
lots
sound
happening.
effects.
All right. So what are you looking forward for today? And secondarily to that, what do you consider a successful conference for you? When the conference is over and you look back and you go, you know what, X happened, so I feel like this was really worth it.
Yeah, so today I'm in a few sessions that are really heavily giving focused. There's one that's focusing there's one that's focusing on giving days specifically, so I'm excited about that one. And just kind of using the platform to really kind of elevate the donor experience, but also see if we can make our lives easier and what we can kind of switch out. And then to answer your second question, I guess I would say, honestly, like a lot of the connections, I feel like the sessions are always great and you're always going to learn something. But I think if I connect with somebody that sparks an idea or something for me to bring back to Bryant, or even just like swapping a business card so we can kind of share throughout the year, that to me is kind of like, that's why I come to these things.
And then it's a long term, right? It can be long-term relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just the brainstorming and just having a conversation, being like, oh, that's a great idea. Like we should try that.
Nailed it.
So that's kind of what I always look for when I'm at these.
So that's your successful conference. And networking is a really critical part of this, right?
Yeah.
Great relationships that can come out of this, idea sharing. And that's sometimes, you get in, like you said, you get into one of these sessions and somebody says something and you go, you know what, I don't know if we could do that, but we might be able to try this. And then somebody next to you goes, oh, we do that. And here's the result that it has, right?
Exactly.
and you
Yeah.
get to be on the EdUp Experience podcast for now a second time. That's got to be kind
I
of
feel like a celebrity.
Is that you are a celebrity? Let me tell you why you're a celebrity, because you're doing the Bryant Fund, email marketing, and doing website updates. Bryant University, watch out! You're gonna better keep this one. Anything else you want to say to the audience here, Julia, about your experience at Anthology?
No, I mean it's been great so far. I'm excited for the rest of the day. And
Are you sure there's nothing else you want to say?
This is so fun.
Well, we think so too, Julia.
It's super fun. Thank you so much.
Okay, say it again.
This is so fun.
Julia, settle down now. Okay, we get it. Ladies and gentlemen, her name, here she is. Her name is Julia McLaughlin. She's assistant director of the Bryant Fund. Julia, did you have a good EdUp experience today?
I did. It was great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp'd